Hi, Syndee Holt here, and today we're going to be working with some of the colored liquid clays and other ways that we can color them and play with them. Over here, I've done some pendants. I saw online on a lady who was using liquid fondant to make hearts. So I was sitting out at my table one day making these little hearts, having a grand time. And my son, who's a chef, came out and he says, "Oh, we do this in foam at the restaurant. Let me show you some things." So he sat down and taught me how to make the leaves and the flowers. And I was just having so much fun doing this that it's like one of those projects for a day that you want to play with clay, but you really don't want to think a lot. You really, truly just want to play. This is a perfect project for this. And this is how I normally start. I start on a tile first because I want to make sure that I have the viscosities or the thickness and thinness of my liquid clays the way that I want them to work with. And as you can see, here's a gold clay here, and it's very thick right out of the bottle. So I want to add a little bit of clay softener to it. Us oldsters still call this diluent. And I'm going to mix a little bit of it in here. I know I could cut the lid and use it that way, but I just am in the habit of using it right out of the bottles. And I'm mixing it up. These are those little paint pots that you can buy. You get like 12 for $3 or something. They don't react to the clay, so I'm really happy to use them. The other thing I use are these little tiny red cups. And they also don't react to the clay, so I use those as well. And you can see I've mixed it now, and it's much thinner. And I have one here that I've added a little bit of green in it. And this one I've mixed in the softener, and I'm going to add a couple drops of orange alcohol ink to it. Doesn't take much. Come on, get in there, get in there. There we go. That's why I don't use dropper bottles. Ooh, that's pretty looking just like that. That's an interesting effect. Ah, look at that gorgeous orange. And the mica in there is just so beautiful. Ooh, I love that. Okay, so let's get ready to start. I'm gonna work on the tile here and pretend like we're using a bezel, okay? And this one I think I have opened. As I put this on, you'll notice that I go in a circular motion here. This helps to spread it for me so I don't have to wait for it to level. That should be about right. Okay, and just pretend like I'm working here in a bezel. Actually, I can fill that one for you if you want. And you can see exactly what I mean about spreading it in there. I just think it's easier to show you how to do these and also for me to practice using perfect. By spreading it, I make sure I don't overfill. Oh, I wanted to show you this too. Sometimes these bottles come with this annoying plastic on here. I've discovered that if you do a quick little cut here and here, come on. Now I've got a drip bib on there so that if I do use the applicator tip on here, when I set it back up, if anything runs down, it's gonna run onto my drip bib here, not down onto my table surface. And that happens to me quite frequently. I need to be a little bit more cautious. So let's start with the hearts. Oh, first of all, I gotta put my glasses on here so I can see what I'm doing. I don't really need to wear glasses. It just is kind of like a psychological thing for me now when I work close like this. And I've got some white mixed up in here, thinned just a little bit, and I'm gonna add a drop. Let's make a big one for the camera so you guys can see. A big old heart. There we go. And I'm gonna use another toothpick, and this is my ever-present baby wipe, and I'm gonna draw down quickly from the center, top, just like that, and then pull down on the bottom. Now I'm totally into funky hearts, so I would be making these really funky. Let me see if I can get another little one over here for you. You can even repair on these. I've become rather an expert at repairing. Say you don't like that, just put a drop over it, let it settle, and you can go back and redraw that. Always on my last one is where I mess it up, you know. It's always that way, right? that one last little bit. There we go. There's some cute hearts going on. Let me put one more here, and then we'll move on. I'm telling you, this is really addicting to do. And I make one going sideways here. Clean your toothpick or your needle tool, whatever you're using each time. Let's try a leaf now. We'll see if it's a good day for leaves or not. Again, circular motion. I would do the bezel the same way. I'll put one in the bezel too. All right. A leaf. I'm going to use my needle tool to do the leaf because it's rather fine. Let me see if I can go backwards for you. See, I just had a little bubble pop in there. I can fix that when I get all done. And let me draw out a stem. There we go. And I'm going to fix that one little thing in there. That little bubble that popped. Come on. There we go. And I can make all kinds of leaves this way. You can even draw down and make a center vein if you want to. They're very fun, very addicting. Let's try doing, wonder how that would work. Here I go again. Let's invent something on live TV. I'm always experimenting. Let's try some gold and put the green on it and see what happens. Make sure you don't get too big a drop. Do you see me put that back in? You can always make your drop bigger if you need it, but it's a little harder to make it smaller. Oh yeah. Oh, can you guys see what these micas are doing in here? It's just beautiful. I'm gonna make a, there we go. Fun stuff, fun stuff. So now I wanna do a little flower. I'm gonna go back to the black, it's easier to see in it. Take the lid off. And the flower is done just exactly like you do the leaf, just a few more little pieces in there. So a lot of people ask me about liquid clays. It is a little bit different animal. It is polymer clay. It is in a liquid form. It bakes for the most part at the same temperature with the difference of some of the clears. The same time and temperature. You can combine liquid clay with regular clay. In fact, I've done it several times. See, I didn't clean my brush and I got that little thing in there, my little toothpick. I am a child of the 60s, so I love the funky flowers, you know? There we go, and let's add, how about a little bit of green for the center? Perfect. I wanted to show you one more thing with this, and this is using clear Bakeables. This is a silicone candy mold, and can you see how it's shiny inside? When it's shiny like this, you're gonna get a shiny surface on your clay. If this is more matte, you're gonna get a matte surface in it. And what I've done is just added a little bit of glitter right down in the mold here, and then poured my clay to fill it, and once it's baked, it pops out, and look at how fun that is. And I just re-drilled this. You can drill this clay just like you do regular clay after it's baked. And I have this necklace that I've done with it that is like my favorite necklace to wear. You can see I've just laced my leather cording right through it. And I love this. I wear it all the time. These are two pieces that I made also with a candy silicone mold. And this one has clear and it's a little bit of glitter with some other little organic material in it. And this one I've tinted with the green. And these are just really, really pretty pieces. They're very light too. And one of my pieces I actually drilled right through this little stem here. I think it was for the earrings. And I put the jump ring in and I was kind of tugging on it. And it's very strong. I was very surprised at how strong they are. And let me give you a couple tips on in terms of baking the liquid clays. Most of these bake at the same time and temperature as your regular clay does. You can combine the two together. In fact, a lot of people are using the clear now as a surface treatment instead of a resin. And one more thing I wanted to show you, this is really neat how these are raised up on here, it just fascinates me, is say that you had something mixed up in your little bin here or one of your cups, and you needed to have it so that you could pour it in a small surface. You know these little jewelry bags we have for earrings and things? You can actually just put it in here, clip the corner, and then just squeeze it out. The same thing will work with your two-part resins too. If you just need a little bit, you can mix them up right in here. And once these are baked, of course, you know it is just like regular clay. And these guys, you know, I have a lot of tiles sitting around with these on. I think I'm gonna bake them. I'm gonna find a use for these one day, I'm sure. So take an afternoon and experiment.